that you're doing well. Happy Friday. Let me move this camera a little bit. I feel like it's in a weird spot. Okay. Well, on the floor turns out to be an even weirder spot. Alright, there we go. Okay, I'm sitting outside since, I don't know, the lighting was kind of weird in my room. Anyway, so hopefully you can hear me. Let me know when you sign on. Just say hi or post something or let me know you're there. Sorry for the background noise. Again, I am outside. Okay, so I want to talk about 3 ways to manage stressful relationships at work. So probably most of us have been there, right? We've been either in a stressful job or had stressful bosses or had colleagues that are difficult. So thinking about these situations, maybe you're in one now, maybe you were in one in the past, you may be in one in the future, right? But really thinking about how am I managing myself in these particularly difficult relationships, because we can't manage other people. We can't affect or change other people's perspectives or personalities or how they respond in situations. So we can only really deal with and manage ourselves, which is what I'm going to kind of talk about today. So thinking about shifting the focus from like trying to change the other person to figuring out what we can do to be more resilient in these situations, or to handle them in a way where we're trying to focus on what we can change in ourselves. The first way is something that I've talked about before, right? Is doing your own grounding practice and being sure that you have your own sort of energetic boundaries, right? So particularly for those of us who are empathic, who are intuitive, who are highly sensitive people, right? Like this is extra important to us, important for us, because if we're in a space with colleagues who are high drama, if we're with a boss who can kind of suck our energy, who are those people who are our energy drains, then we need to be extra sure that we're sort of protecting our energy, protecting our space. So I know you guys may remember a few weeks ago when I did a whole meditation, a whole video on grounding meditation. So really focusing on imagining tree roots growing from your body, essentially, rooting you into the earth. So you're doing this as a meditation, your eyes are closed, you're taking a few deep breaths, and you're in your mind's eye, you're really visualizing your legs turning into tree roots and really rooting yourself into the earth, into the ground, and being able to kind of center your energy so that you feel grounded, you feel secure, and that you are not getting kind of carried away on another person's energy or stress or frenzy or whatever it is that they bring into your space, right? So part of the reason for doing this is kind of like knowing what's yours and knowing what someone else is, right? So you're always in the place of grounding your energy and identifying what is yours versus what is some other person's. So also we talked at one point about doing some visualization techniques where you're really imagining yourself in sort of like a bubble. It can be kind of like a pink fluffy bubble, it can be like a fiberglass bubble, it can be whatever you want it to look like. But sort of imagining this going around you in your space so that you're visualizing this and that the other person's stress or pulls for energy draw or whatever it is that they're trying to do kind of bounces off this sort of energetic boundary. So these are some practices that can be really helpful to sit and do for a second. They can take 5 minutes, right? They can take 2 minutes if you want. Before your workday starts, during lunch, at the end of the day, any time where you feel like you need to kind of collect yourself and ground your energy and figure out, am I getting carried away in my boss's drama? Am I getting pulled into stress with other colleagues? Am I getting pulled away on a frenzy with something really rude and nasty just said to me? Like, do I feel like I'm gonna cry? Do I feel like I'm getting swept away and caught up in these other people's drama and stress? And what can I do to bring myself back to me, to be in the present moment, to be with myself and what's happening right now? So these can be some really good meditative and visualization techniques to really keep you focused on you and not getting kind of swept away into what else is going on. So number 2 is a little bit of a bigger one to kind of talk about. Hi, thanks for jumping on. The second one is really to not rationalize other people's behavior. So that's a big one, right? We can apply that to a lot of situations in our lives, with our romantic partners, with our friends, with our family, with our parents, whomever, right? Just other people that we have relationships with in our life, right? So for some of us, I think particularly those of us who are empathic and sensitive and intuitive and all of those wonderful things, right? We tend to try to give people the benefit of the doubt, or we try to like explain away people's behavior or rationalize it or kind of make it okay for them to essentially be a jerk, right? So it's not okay. It doesn't have to be okay. You don't have to make it okay. So I would encourage you to train yourself to, one, notice when you're starting to rationalize people's bad behavior, and then 2, stop yourself. Let them own what's theirs. People show you who they are, right? Let them. So part of the reason why we do this, or part of the reason why I want you to not do this, is because when we try to rationalize somebody else's behavior and we try to make it not about them, we can sometimes try to bend and change ourselves to try to fix something about them, right? Especially if we're empathic, right? And we're picking up on someone else's uncomfortable energy, or like their stress or their anger or their frustration or their sadness. We identify it as ours and we try to fix something about ourselves to make that go away, when really what we're trying to fix is the other person, right? We just haven't identified it as belonging to someone else and it's not ours. So it's a similar thing when we rationalize someone else's behavior, when we say, well, they didn't mean that, or they're just super stressed today, or, you know, it wasn't that bad, I'm just being too sensitive, right? When we give away that authentic feeling that is real for us, and we explain away something that someone else does, we take away our ability to kind of own our own feelings and our ability to be clear and confident in what we feel and what we notice and what we're experiencing. Like, no, that's not okay. I don't have to make it okay. That's yours. That's your problem. That's a thing that you did that wasn't okay for me. So being able to kind of stand in that space and own when you don't feel comfortable or when you feel frustrated. What to do about it is a whole other conversation, a different video, but making sure that you are owning what it is that you feel and not trying to explain it away because it's easier, or because you won't have to deal with it then, or because if you somehow change the thing that you believe you did to cause it, then great, you can take control back over the situation. No, not true, right? It's the other person's, and we're gonna let them own that. We don't have to own that for them. Yes, so keeping in mind not changing yourself in an attempt to fix somebody else's bad behavior, that does not work. So the third thing that I want to talk about is really being able to kind of focus on and expand the things that are going on for you outside of work. So if you're in a super stressful work environment and all you think about, all you're focused on is work, it will feel like it is your entire life, that it is the whole scope of your world, when it doesn't have to be, right? So if we're focusing on expanding the other parts of our life that are non-work related, maybe it's improving your relationship with your spouse, maybe it's going on dates if that's something that you're interested in, maybe it's joining a club or a community group, or working on something outside of work, or doing sort of like a side business, or engaging in a hobby, or being more active, or training for a race, or like any number of a million different choices, right? Whatever it is that you like. But like factoring in some extra outside of work things that can draw your focus to them. Because when work is just one of many things in your life, like a list of things in your life, it tends to kind of soften the stress and decrease the importance and salience of it to some degree. But when work is the center of your life, or the main thing in your life, it takes on this different level of importance, and it becomes a sort of like giant monster that takes up all the space in your life and in your world. So I would encourage you to try to put work as one item in your life and expanding the other things in your life, and shifting your focus on some of the other more positive things in your life, right? Maybe you're in a stressful place for right now and you feel like you can't leave for whatever reason, which is another thing. But being able to kind of expand those other pieces of your life, those other aspects of your life, can be really helpful. Okay, so announcement that I want to talk about is next week, myself and a good friend who is a career coach and specializes in all things work related, works with women who are in toxic work environments and helps get them out of those. She's going to hop on a call with me here. We're going to do a video in here to talk about a program that we're doing and to give some tips and tricks to you guys. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is a program that we're doing that starts September 1st. It starts in early September, and we're going to help folks who are in super stressful work environments, who are just burned out, who are kind of at their wits' end with their job, are just in a really frustrated place where they just feel like they can't get out, they're not sure what their other options are, they're feeling really stressed, they're feeling trapped, and they're in a really toxic place. So if you feel like that resonates with you, hop on a call with us. We're doing some calls with folks to see if the program might be a good fit. It's a 6-month group program. It's going to be small. We're only taking 6 people into the group because we want to create a pretty small, kind of intimate group where we can share what's going on at work, and help build resiliency, identify particular strengths. There'll be some work with Christy one-on-one where you figure out your strengths and how that maps onto the right career move for you or career direction. She's an expert at helping people figure out kind of how to negotiate different things, how to take a step out of their job and feel comfortable and confident doing that. I'll be working with people on recognizing some belief systems and patterns in thinking, and how to shift some of that to get you into a healthier space where you're ready to be empowered to make some changes in your life and your career potentially. So if you even think you're just a little bit interested, just hop on a call with us. I'll throw a link in there, and we can talk it through and see what might fit for you. So if you guys have questions, let me know, and I'll post that link below, and have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week.